Hello children, welcome to NEET World. This is Narayani, I am your foundation biology educator. In previous class, we started from the 9th standard CBSE chapters. The second chapter, it's tissues, right? So, we started the chapter and let's start today's session. So, continuous of that session, today's session will be there. So, in previous class, we discussed the plants are having the two types of tissues. They are, one is meristematic tissue and another one is permanent tissue, right? So we discussed about the meristematic tissue, right children? So let's start the session. Before I am going to start the session children, I would like to announce very important news for you. Here we are starting the foundation summer camp course children. So in the span of 15 days, in the first 10 days we are categorized to analyze the topics of which are very core concepts which are related to the examinations of NEET and JEE. So the core concepts which we are going to explain in the first 10 days of period of the foundation summer camp course children. And after 10 days, the 2 days will be the activity based learning, and after 12 days, the 13th day we are going to conduct the quiz on according we are discussing the chapters of the in the first 10 days. Then you can analyze your performance before and after. So in such a way that you can check your performance, and by with crash rewards we are conducting the quiz. And then after 13 days, the 14th day we are conducting the cumulative assessment of all subjects we are dealing with it. So we are mainly focusing on the subjects of physics, chemistry, biology and mathematics. And coming to the 15th day, which is very important day children, in the 15th day we are going to it is a very important day because we are providing the one-on-one interaction career guidance program. If you have a dream, you don't know how to achieve it, you don't know what kind of exams will be there. So we will focus on analyzing each and every examinations based on your interest of a subject, and what we will show the path of the way how you achieve that dream and all that. So in the 15th day is very important children. So the mode of learning is through digital panel. We are creating amazing videos to get to the concept to be understood for you. So and also it is for both CBSE and SSC students also. For upcoming of 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th and 10th, it is very useful children. So this is how we categorize the 15 days of the plan of foundation summer camp children, and it is for both offline also and online also. For offline people, you can happily come to your institute name called NEETWORLD, present in Narayana, Hyderabad. And those who want to study through online, so down scrolling number is there, no children, please contact with that number, then we will provide, and also it is there in the brochure also here, see. So if you can contact with that number, we will give you the access in our classes in the app name called NEETWORLD. So it is very useful to children. And very another important news children, the first 1 week classes are absolutely free. There is no need to pay 1 rupee also in the span of 1 week. So it is very useful for you to the upcoming students of 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th and 10th students. And this is how we categorize the foundation summer camp course children. So it is very useful for you. I hope you all see you in the classes. And another more important news children. So here you can join our Telegram group children. So we will providing in this Telegram channel daily live classes schedule, you will get to know about it, and daily quizzes about biology, maths, physics and chemistry, and you can solve your if you have any doubts you can post there. So we will directly solve your directly solve your doubts children. So this is one of the advantages of joining in our classes. So the link will be in the description children, so you can access the Telegram channel in there. So this is what our foundation summer camp course children. And not only these children, so in the yesterday onwards we are started the long term course of NEET and JEE for both MPC and BIPC students. So if you can enroll in that course, you will get 5 entrance exam tests free children. So it is very limited offer. So and we are providing 1 week free trial from the NEET long term course and JEE course also, and JEE for maths people. So JEE is starting from the May 26th children, and the NEET long term course is already started from yesterday. So if you want it, then please please contact with us. So we will give you access 1 week free trial classes. So it is very useful for you. Don't miss this opportunity. So let's start this today's session children. So in this session, so we discussed about the tissues, right? What is the definition of tissues children? Tissues is nothing but group of cells having the similar origin and have a common function, right? And also group of cells makes the tissue, group of tissue makes the organ, and a group of organs make the organ system, and organ system makes a whole organism. I given the example for it is a company, the whole company, right children. If the cell is an employee, group of cells we call it as workers, right. Then we make the branches, then branches into departments, departments into divisions, and the whole divisions make the whole company, right. So this is how we discussed about given the example for the two tissues to be understood, children. So here it is that we discussed mainly the plant tissues, right. So plant tissues are how many types, children? There are two types. One is meristematic tissue and another one is permanent tissue. If it is a cell, if it is a plant cell, either it is a Collenchyma cell or the Parenchyma cell, then it makes group of cells having the same origin and common function, forms the tissue. It is either maybe it is meristematic tissue. The primary growth of the plant starts with the meristematic tissue, right. So that meristematic tissue leads to the formation of organ, and organ to organ system, and organ system the whole organism of the plant body, right. So we discussed how many types of their children? There are two types. One is meristematic tissue and another one is permanent tissue. When this meristematic tissue is also called as actively dividing cells. Meristematic tissue having the meristematic cells, and they are also called as actively dividing cells, and based on their location there are of three types. What are the children? One is apical meristem, another one is intercalary meristem, and third one is lateral meristem. So the girth increases due to the lateral meristem. Width of the plant, horizontal growth, it increases due to the lateral meristem. And apical meristem is present in the shoots and roots, right. At the tips of the roots and shoots, apical meristem will be there. So thereby the growth of the primary plant body occurs through the apical meristem. These meristematic cells present in the embryo, right. They are originated from the embryo because they are having the actively dividing cells. Those are called meristematic cells, right. So intercalary meristems helps in the elongation of the internodal regions, right, and it is present in the base of the lamina, nodes of nodal regions of the flowers or fruits, branches, it is present. And coming to the apical meristem, children, it is present at root tips and shoot tips. So this is how the meristematic tissues are categorized based on their location. So what are permanent tissues then? When these meristematic cells is they are ability to divide, then it becomes the permanent tissues. There are of two types. One is simple permanent tissue and another one is complex permanent tissue, right. So simple permanent tissues of three types: Parenchyma, Collenchyma and Sclerenchyma. And the complex permanent tissues are Xylem and Phloem. We will discuss elaborately, children. So let's fastly recap the yesterday's session. So plant tissues are of two types. One is meristematic tissue and another one is permanent tissue. What is the characteristic features of the meristematic tissue, children? Is there having the intercellular spaces? No, there is doesn't having the meristematic cells doesn't have the intracellular spaces, and it have the prominent nucleus and dense cytoplasm because they are actively dividing cells. For the actively division, there is a requirement of the dense cytoplasm is required. So as it is a prominent nucleus which helps in the division of cells, right. So and having a thin cell wall is made up of cellulose. There is no intracellular spaces, and it is a devoid of vacuole. If the vacuoles are present also, they does not have the very great function, and the specialized structures are not present. So these are the characteristic features of the meristematic tissue, right, children. So what is the definition of meristematic tissue, children? So meristematic tissue is a plant tissue. It is which tissue? Animal tissue or plant tissue? It's a plant tissue that has the ability to divide and actively throughout their life, where because of the meristematic tissue only the plant primary growth is starting, and because of the meristematic tissue only the plants are indefinite in growth, right. So because of the meristematic tissue. Coming to the next, children, so there are three types: apical, lateral and intercalary. We already briefly discussed about this, right. So by the grazing of the animals, the mainly in grasses, the elongation is happening due to the intercalary meristem because of the when the herbivore grazes the grass. So again they are growing because of the they are wounded plants, because by the by the herbivores, plant eaters, by cutting the grass for the animals. So they are again get back into the original form. Regeneration is happening due to the intercalary meristems, because they are helps in the elongation, right? It is the intercalary meristem. So we solve some of the questions also. So now let's discuss the experiment from the responsible for the meristematic tissue. See, here we are studying the tissues responsible for growth of the plants in certain specific region. We are saying the primary growth is starting from the meristematic tissue. They are actively dividing cells, we are saying. It is present in the root tips also and the shoot tips also. It is a apical meristem, right? So here we go. The experiment, children. For these experiments, what are the materials required, children? So here the materials required are 2 onions and 2 glass jars, right? And we have to note it right in the paper form, no, children. So we have to record the file. So for this experiment, how we done? We have to write, no. For these are the materials required. 2 onion bulbs required, and the 2 glasses are required. That can hold the these onion bulbs. That type of glasses we required. So then on the water. So let's see what I did. So I took the 2 glasses of water at the same height of I take the similar quantity of water in the glasses of 2 glasses of the similar height, and I fix the onion bulbs like here. So I left it for 3 days. Then what will happen? What is the result happen? So I seeing the growth of the roots here. So for the growth of the plants, the water is also required. So I see in the here roots I saw. So what I did after 3 days, children, so I named it as A and it is B. It is the glass number A and glass number B. So I took this glass number B and cut the roots. So I cut these parts of roots. So I left it there. So then what I observed so I cannot see the growth in the B after I cut the roots. Why? Because I removed the meristematic cells present in the roots, right? Because the meristematic cells are present in the roots and also shoots. The primary growth starting from the roots and shoots. So here I removed the meristematic cells. Then how they will grow? Because what it is proving, children. So it is we can say that meristematic cells are responsible for the actively dividing cells, right? See what I observed. The roots of the onion jar 1 grow longer. Here I did not cut these roots. They are becoming longer. In the glass A, they are become longer because I not cut those roots. I cut the glass B. So the roots of the onion jar 1 grow longer because of the apical meristem. There is a presence of apical meristem present at the root tip, which is responsible for the continuous cell division. That is why in the A there is a long, then B there is a long roots are there. In B also will be there, but I cut those roots. I removed the meristematic tissues right there. So in the jar 2, when the root tips were removed, the growth is stopped. Why it is stopped? Because the apical meristem was removed. What I did, I cut those roots after growing the 3 days, right? So but I did not cut the jar A. That is why they are become longer. So preventing the further division of cells. This experiment what is showing that meristematic tissue is present at the tips of the roots and shoots also. It is what it is showing, children. The roots, tips and shoot tips, there is a presence of meristematic tissue responsible for the primary growth of plant. So for the primary growth of the plant, what tissue is required, children? Apical meristematic tissue is required. So meristematic cells are actively participate in the cell division and forming the numerous cells, right? So this is what experiments, children. So in which did I had not removed at the particular in the jar A. That is why I did not found any not division is we cannot see the division. So sorry, we are seeing the division in the glass jar A. We cannot see the division in glass jar B because I removed the apical meristem in the glass B, in the jar B. So this is what the experiment is showing. You can analyze in your house also, children. So some of you perform and let me know what is the result and all that, right? So let's discuss some of the questions, children, here. So by end of the class we'll discuss, right? So for the summary, children, what we can say, meristematic tissue is responsible for the plant growth. So of course that is true, right? So meristematic tissue are actively dividing cells. They are also called as meristems, and they are responsible for primary plant growth. They are responsible for primary plant growth, right? And they are classified into apical, lateral and intercalary. So apical is present in root tips and shoot tips, and lateral growth is present in the sides of the plants and involves in the growth, and intercalary present in the base of the lamina, in nodal regions, right? So intercalary is present in the nodes of the leaves, base of the lamina, in that. And again the grass, and mainly the grasses, the again regeneration of the plants is due to the intercalary meristem. So apical meristem helps in the lengthening and lateral meristem helps in widening. Apical meristem involves in the height of the plant, and lateral meristem involves in the widening of the plant, width of the plant. So intercalary meristem aids in regrowth, and regrowth of the plants is due to the intercalary meristems. And these tissues ensures continuous development of tissues. So these tissues which are responsible for the continuous development of the plants, right? This is about the meristematic tissue, children. So let's now start the permanent tissues. So what are permanent tissues, children? So is the cells are is the plants are continuously growing throughout their life? No, right? So if they are having the meristematic cells, it does not mean that they will grow up to the height of the sky. No, children, because that meristematic cells which are unspecialized cells, because they don't have any specialized organelles, right? They are immature cells. They are always actively participating in the division of forming new cells, right? So for the cell division, the meristematic cells are there. So when these meristematic cells power to lose their ability, so when they lose their ability to divide, they become the permanent tissues. So I given a very good example for you. If you have a class of children, so if they consider the plants are like students, so after all learning the same subject in the classroom, so when they are becoming they become same job, so all they acquire same job? No. So some of acquire teachers, some of acquire doctors, some they become engineers, right? So different roles are allotting. So if you consider the plants like the students, and after they becoming, all are acquiring not the same job, they are acquiring different kinds of jobs in the role of some doctors, engineers, like that. So here what they are saying, some after some time they are attaining different courses, they are participating in the different they are going into the different fields. Like that only these meristematic cells, when they lose ability to divide, so they become the permanent tissues. They came into across, say, performing the different permanent roles. They having the involved in the permanent roles. So that is why they are the true workers behind the plant for the growth, for the storage, for the strength, for the transport. Permanent tissues are the true workers of the plant body. So from where they arised? They arise from the meristematic tissue, right? So permanent tissues are arised from the meristematic tissues, right? So here we go, children. So let's we dive into this permanent tissues, children. So when these meristematic cells are unspecialized cells. So if you have a children, if you have group of students are there in the classroom, so one is the class leader I kept. So although he is a student, I give him the one special role, right? He is a specialized one. So like that only, when these meristematic cells lose ability to divide, children, they become the specialized. They have the specific role for either the shape, size and function. They have to attain some specific role, size and function. So that is in the permanent tissue. So that is become the permanent tissue. So these are of the simple, they are categorized into simple permanent tissues and complex permanent tissues. What are the simple permanent tissues, children? So these are made up of only one kind of cells. They are not composed of different kinds of cells. They are composed of only one kind of cells. They are composed of only one kind of cells. But permanent tissue is not like that. Complex permanent tissues. The word itself, it is a complex, which means they are composed of many different types of cells. Many different types of cells. Many different types of cells. When they in the permanent tissues are having the specific role and function. Is the meristematic tissues having the specific role and function? No. Right? They are unspecialized cells. They are unspecialized cells. They don't have any special roles. They don't have any special roles. They are unspecialized cells. Unspecialized cells. But the permanent tissues are specialized cells. Permanent tissues are specialized cells. They have specific function, size and structure. They have specific function, size and structure. Right? So they are categorized into permanent tissues are categorized into two types. What are they, children? They are simple permanent tissue and complex permanent tissue. Right? So these cells, when they lose the ability to divide, the meristematic tissue, when they lose the ability to divide, they become the permanent tissues. They have the specific role. Right, children? And then, so they have thin cell wall and thick cell wall. So here in the permanent tissues, children, they have the thick cell wall also and thin cell wall also. So let's discuss very elaborately the permanent tissues of first we discuss about the simple permanent tissues, children, then we are going to discuss about the complex permanent tissues. So let's focus on the simple permanent tissues, children. Is they are composed of only different types of cells or one kind of cells? They are composed of only one kind of cells. Right? So let's see this. Yes. So permanent tissues are the plant tissues which are have lost their ability to divide. So they are divided into meristematic tissues. They are from there they are originated, children, from the meristematic tissue only. So the various functions like, so what is the permanent tissues function? Further, they are the two heroes behind the plant structure, support and transport. So here they functions like support, transport and storage. So there are of two types. What are the, children? Simple and complex. Simple and complex. 1 minute. Okay. What are the types of permanent tissues, children? Simple and complex. So simple permanent tissues are divided into, again they are divided into Parenchyma, Collenchyma and Sclerenchyma. Based on their, children, they categorized based on their similar kind of cells. Simple permanent tissues are categorized into three types. So what are they? Parenchyma, Collenchyma and Sclerenchyma. So here see, children, Parenchyma. So Parenchyma having these cells. Let's see here. Okay. These are the Parenchyma tissues, children. So here we can see the intercellular spaces of the, what are the characteristics of these Parenchyma cells? See, there is a intercellular spaces are there. There is a intercellular spaces are there. What is intercellular spaces? In between cells there is a space. In between cells there is a space, right? What is meant by intra? Intra means inside a cell. If I say it is having the intraspace, which means the cell having the inside the space. But I am not saying the inside. It is the intracellular space, which means the cells having the space in between cells. They having the space in between cells. That is why it is they having the intracellular spaces are present in between the cells of Parenchyma tissue. And what we are seeing, they having the prominent nucleus also there. Prominent nucleus also there. Prominent nucleus. And they having the protoplasm also. We can see the peripheral protoplasm. Why it is a peripheral protoplasm? Because the large space is occupied by the vacuole, having the large vacuole. having the large vacuole. What is the function of the vacuole, children? What is the function of vacuole? So it helps in the storage. It helps in the storage. It helps in the storage. So it helps in the storage. In the starch of the potato tuber, so the material is stored is parenchyma tissue. It is a primary tissue covered by the entire plant body, children. It is abundant tissue present in the plant. So here it is the example is here the starch in the potato tuber. It is mainly composed of parenchyma tissue. Not only this, children, and resins, tannins are also the the unwanted materials like tannins, resins, crystals are also stored by the parenchyma tissue only. So these are having the intracellular spaces and having the prominent nucleus, and they are having the large central vacuole which helps in storage. These intracellular spaces help in the gaseous exchange, and it is example, it is present in the potato starch tuber. It is present in the by the helping the storage of food. And also, children, it is a transverse section. So if it is a pen, if I cross like this, if I cut, if I have section like this, so here is the transverse section. Here is a longitudinal section. If I cut this pen as in the longitudinal way, in the straight way, it is a longitudinal section. If it is appears in like this in the longitudinal section, and if it is in the cross section, it is appears like this, right? So here see. So you have the thin cell wall. Cell wall is made up of cellulose. Here the cell wall is made up of, for the parenchyma tissue, the cell wall is made up of cellulose. Cell wall is made up of cellulose, and they are having the nucleus, and having the large vacuole and cytoplasm, and the starch grain vacuole. Because of the vacuole is the helps in the storage of food material. Mainly it is participates in the storage, children. Mainly it is participates in the storage. And these parenchymatous tissue also stores the waste materials, tannin, resins, crystals and all that. Right, children? Coming to the collenchyma. So this parenchyma also divided into two types. So one is arenchyma and also one is arenchyma and also collenchyma. This parenchyma is out of two types, arenchyma and also collenchyma. So this arenchyma having the air spaces which helps in the cells to form, showing the buoyancy condition. In the hydrophytes, they mainly float on the water because of they are having this arenchyma cells. And coming to the collenchyma, children, they are having the chloroplast in their cells. They are having the chloroplast in their cells. They helps in the photosynthesis. These collenchyma cells mainly present in the mesophyll tissue. So it helps in the formation, helps in the photosynthesis process. So here this is about the parenchyma tissue. Here see, children. Here see. 1 minute. Okay. So parenchyma is a permanent tissue. It is made up of loosely packed living cells having the thin cell walls made up of cellulose, and the function is, what is the main function of this parenchyma tissue, children? It helps in the storage of food and helps in the photosynthesis. Photosynthesis occurs by the collenchyma cells. There are of the parenchyma cells only, and healing of wounds, and it also helps in the healing of wounds. And they have the special structures is Sclerenchyma, continuously having a chlorophyll, helps in photosynthesis. And coming to the arenchyma, children, it continues having the air spaces. It provides a buoyancy condition in the aquatic plants. The floating of the aquatic plants is due to the arenchyma cells, because they have the air spaces. Because they having these cells having the air spaces, and the parenchyma cells having the large central vacuole, and they having the prominent nucleus and the large central vacuole also, because the main function of the parenchyma tissue is food storage, and also it stores the waste materials like resins, tannins and crystals also. So these are the cells, children. See how much the the vacuole is stored, how much the space the took by the vacuole, and it is a prominent nucleus, and the thin cell wall is made up of cellulose, right? So this is about the parenchyma tissue. Let's see here. This is the parenchyma cells. They are maybe the shape of spherical or hexagonal, right, or polygonal shapes. So these are the parenchyma cells and these are the erenchyma cells. Because of this condition only, the hydrophytes means what, children? Hydrophytes are water plants. Hydrophytes are water plants. Hydro means water and phytes mean plants. Hydro means water, phytes mean plants. The buoyancy condition of the plants is due to the having their erenchyma cells, and these are the Sclerenchyma cells, mainly present in the mesophyll tissue. They help because they are having the chloroplast inside in it, so they helps in the photosynthesis process, right? Photosynthesis is nothing but the preparation of food materials in the plant body, right? So this is about the parenchyma tissue, children. So let's see the Collenchyma tissue, children. So here it is the Collenchyma. So what is the colon means glue, tissue tissue means it is a chyma means tissue. So here is having the tissue, having the glue, the attachment will be there. So they are the beside cells, which is they are having any intercellular spaces, they are glue. Colon means glue, chyma means tissue. So they are attaching cells, right? So there is no intracellular spaces. In the Collenchyma cells, is there is having any intracellular spaces, children? There is no intracellular spaces. There is no intracellular spaces. There is no intracellular spaces. And they are made up of cellulose, and the cell wall is made up of cellulose. Cell wall is made up of cellulose and pectin. Cell wall is made up of cellulose and pectin. At the peripheral region. So this is how the arrangement of the Collenchyma cells will be seen. And they are mainly, when it is the cross section, children, it appears like this. Cross section means if I section like this, it appears like this. In the longitudinal section, it appears like this. If there is no intracellular spaces in the Collenchyma cells, right? So here it is having the cellulose and pectin. These cells are of having the mainly present in leaves and also young stems. The function of this Collenchyma is flexibility, children. So when you are sometimes when we will go while going on the road or in the park, what we will do? We will pluck the leaves and all that. So the having the flexibility is the when we are plucking it, the entire branch is falling down or entire leaves are falling down? No, it's showing that like this condition, right, children? Because of why it having the flexibility, it has having the flexibility by the strong winds, So the plants are protecting by the flexibility by these Collenchyma cells, and the mainly in the climbers, children, climbers, and also tendrils are made up of the this Collenchyma tissue. It shows the mainly present in the petiole of the leaf and all that. So by showing that, it is showing the flexibility. By the strong winds also the plants are withstanding because of the flexibility, but it is given by the Collenchyma tissue. It is by the Collenchyma tissue. Let's see the Collenchyma tissue, children. So here the Collenchyma tissue. The cells have unevenly thickened cells. So is there this Collenchyma cells have showing in the intracellular spaces, children? No, they are unevenly. 1 minute. Okay. These cells have unevenly thickened cells, thickened wall cells, and they are living cells. They provide mechanical and flexibility to the plants. They found in leaf stalks, mainly in the region of petioles. So stem of young plants, these Collenchyma cells are present. See here it is a petiole. Here it is a petiole is made up of the Collenchyma cells only, and the tip and the bingo, this midrib, margin, this midrib is also is made up of the Collenchyma cells only, and the Collenchyma cells are there is no intracellular spaces and having the cytoplasm and having the cell wall also. Cell wall is made up of cellulose and pectin substances. Cell wall is made up of cellulose and pectin substances. So it is mainly present in the leaf, stalk, stems and young plants. It is mainly involved in the flexibility. Right, children? Coming to the last one, Sclerenchyma. See, scleren means children hard. Scleren means hard. Scleren means children hard. So it is a dead tissue, children. It is a scleren means hard, chyma means tissue. So here it is a dead tissue. Sclerenchyma is a dead tissue. And don't think that epidermis and cork are not come under the group of parenchyma and meristematic tissue. They are come under the another group because they are involved, they are come under the category of the productive tissue, children. So here the sclerenchyma is a dead tissue. There are two types. One is fibers and another one is sclerids. Fibers and sclerids. So here the fibers are the narrow like structure and elongated narrow like structure. Here the sclerids are the wide width. If they are not narrow like structure, they have the widening. So they have the width of the structures. They have the width structures. So these sclerenchyma tissues are helpful in the mechanical strength of the plant. So they are not moving organisms. Plants are not moving organisms. They have to withstand for the sunlight, air and heavy rainfalls or whatever it may be, they have to withstand it. So how they are withstanding? By this, dead tissue called sclerenchyma tissue, because that makes the formation of the bark, right? And also it involves in the mechanical storage, children. It involves in the mechanical storage. Is they having the cell wall? Of course they are having the cell wall. It is made up of lignin. It is made up of thick lignin. So the cell wall is very thick and it is made up of lignin. It is made up of, children, lignin. So the deposition of the more lignin involves in the flexibility, involves in the strength, mechanical strength, right? So by that it is withstanding for the many climatic conditions and all that. And mainly these fibers present like they are like filamentous like structures and they cluster to form the they are waterproof like structures. They helps to for the there helps in the they are fiber like structures in the coconut. So we will see the fiber is due to this sclerenchyma tissue, right, children? So in the sclerids it is present the pear of fruit and the nuts of the outer covering shells of the nuts is due to this are made up of this sclerenchyma tissue. Let's see this, children. So here the sclerenchyma tissue. It is made up of dead cells. They are also called as dead cells, having the thick cell walls containing the lignin. It has having the lignin, and the parenchyma having the cellulose. Parenchyma having the cellulose, and it is mainly devoid of the sclerenchyma is also devoid of the protoplasm. As it is a dead tissue, there is no having the protoplasm. It is a devoid of protoplasm, and the parenchyma is having the cellulose, and the collenchyma having the pectin with the cellulose. It having the pectin. And coming to the sclerenchyma, it is made up of thick walls containing the lignin. Provides the strengthening and rigidity because of the bark formation also it is involved, children. That is why it forms in the rigidity and strength. Found in seed coats, coconut husk, so and vascular bundles in the pear fruit. So in the mainly we are seeing because of the hard substance is created by the sclerenchyma tissue. It is come under the group of simple permanent tissue. So this is what about the children. This is what about the sclerenchyma tissue. Here see, here having the thick cell walls. It is deposition of the more lignin, and we having the primary cell wall. It is doesn't have the any devoid of the protoplasm. There is no protoplasm. What is meant by protoplasm? Protoplasm which involves the cytoplasm with the nucleus we call it as protoplasm. What is cytoplasm? It is just inside the cells there is only the we are not excluding, we are excluding the nucleus. So protoplasm includes the cytoplasm plus nucleus, but the cytoplasm it's excluding the nucleus, right? So here is the walls of the these cells having the lignin. By the deposition of the lignin, it shows the more rigidity, right, and helps in the mechanical storage. And these are the fibers. So sclerenchyma tissues are of two types. There, what are they, children? It is a fiber and sclerids. So sclerids are the within structures. They are having the lumen space and have thick walls and the pits. Here it is the they are narrow like structures, elongated structures. There are the elongated structures. They are having the thick cell wall is made up of lignin. Right, children? It mainly helps in the mechanical strength of the plants. This is how the plants can withstand in the many environmental conditions. They make the plant hard and stiff. These sclerenchyma tissue make the hard and stiff. Right children? So let's solve some questions here. So in previous sessions we solved only 4 questions, right? So let's solve some of these questions children. Which type of meristematic tissue helps in the growth of the internodes in grasses and bamboo? By the regrowth of the plants, when the herbivores came and eat the grasses, they graze the grasses. So what will happen? So again the regrowth of the grass is due to the involves of the apical meristem or lateral meristem or secondary meristem or intercalary meristem. The answer is we all know that intercalary meristem. So the answer we know that intercalary meristem. So easy children, very easy. Don't again not at all panic. So lateral meristem responsible for. So lateral meristem responsible for the girth of the plant, width of the plant, right children? So girth and width of the plant is due to the lateral meristem. So here it is in the increase of the height of the plant is. So here increase of the height of the plant is which meristematic tissue is responsible children? The responsible height of the plant is apical meristem. It is present in the root and shoots. The primary growth of the plant starts from the apical meristem. Coming to the girth, increasing of girth is due to the lateral meristem. So here it is, the answer is lateral meristem. They are asking the lateral meristem responsible for increasing the girth and thickness of the plant, right? So development of flowers, formation of seeds, not like that. So here is the increasing of girth is due to the lateral meristem. So coming to the next question children, which of the following is a characteristic feature of meristematic cells? They are asking which of the following is a characteristic feature of meristematic cells. They are asking characteristic feature of meristematic cells. Presence of large vacuoles. Is the meristematic cells having the large vacuoles children? No, because there is no involvement of any vacuoles. There is no involvement of formation of storage, right? There is no involvement of, there is no point of storage because they are actively dividing cells. Because there are actively dividing cells. As they are actively dividing cells, they don't have the specific role for the vacuoles, right? So if they are there also, they don't have any great function. They are reduced. So absence of nucleus, no. There is having the prominent nucleus because it involves in the division. For the division, nucleus is required for the cell division, right? So here absence of nucleus is not the characteristic feature of the meristematic cells. Thin cell wall and dense cytoplasm. Of course, they are having the thin cell wall is made up of cellulose and dense cytoplasm is which helps in the actively participation of the cell division, which actually occurs because of the cell division occurs because of the having the dense cytoplasm, right? The cytoplasmic ratio of the plant is more, is more in the meristematic tissue because they are actively participating in the cell division, right? So thick secondary walls, it is also not the correct option here. The option is what is the characteristic feature of the meristematic tissue children? It is a thin cell wall and dense cytoplasm, right? So coming to the 6th question, see here, apical meristem is found in, they are asking apical meristem is found in, it is in the root or shoot tips or leaf margins, stem cortex, flower petals. It is a direct question children, the apical meristem, what is meant by apical? Apical means apex, apex means tip, apex means children, tip, apex means tip. So here the answer is root and shoot tips, root and shoot tips. Coming to the next questions. So here take quickly the screenshot children. So I will solve these questions in the next class. I will solve these questions in the next class. Please answer in the comment section children. I will discuss in the next class. So quickly take the screenshot this. So we will discuss the next class children. This is what up to the today's class. Before I am winding up the class, I would like to announce very important news for you children. Here we are starting the foundation summer camp in the span of 15 days children. So in these 15 days we categorize the first 10 days we are going to cover the core concepts which are related to the examinations of NEET and JEE. And these 10 days we are explaining the basics to the higher level. And after 10 days, the 11th and 12th days, after 2 days, after completion of 10 days, we are conducting the activities based learning. You will increase the focus on learning more by the activity based learning children. Then we are focusing on the quiz. So we are conducting the quiz. So you can analyze your performance after and before by in the 13th day. With cash awards we are conducting the quiz children. It is very helpful to you. And the 14th day we are conducting the cumulative assessment of all subjects that we are dealing with it. So mainly we are dealing with the subjects of physics, chemistry, biology and mathematics. And coming to the 15th day, we are providing the career guidance program, children, by one-on-one interaction. If you have a dream, you don't know how to achieve it, you don't know what kind of exams will be there. So we will provide all information or what are the kind of exams will be there, so that you don't know about it, and what exams you are, what in what subject you are more have to keep more efforts to achieve that examination. We will provide everything in detail in the 15th day of the career guidance program, children. You can ask whatever the doubts maybe you have. And the mode of learning is through mainly the children digital panel. So we are creating amazing videos to get to the concept to be understood for you. Here we are for the both CBSE and CBSE also and SSE also. For upcoming of 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th and 10th, this foundation course is very useful to them, and it is very helpful to achieve the further goals, children. Foundation is very important nowadays, children, because the recently also the NEET 2025 question directly asked from the foundation. So I have explained the shorts. Let's watch that, right? So here this is how we are conducting the foundation summer camp, children. If you want to join through us through online, children, the down scrolling number is there, or else here the browser also having the number, so you can contact with the number. Then we will give you access an app name called NEETWORLD. There you can happily enjoy our classes. The first 1 week classes are absolutely free, children, and it is by offline also. You can happily come to your institute name called NEETWORLD, present in Narayani Ma'am, Hyderabad. So you can happily you can learn these classes, children. It is very useful for you. Thus this is how we made the foundation summer camp, children. This is what about the today's session. Let's meet in the tomorrow session, children. So we'll discuss about the we'll discuss some bits and also some of the important questions of the complex tissues. Let's meet in the tomorrow session. I hope you all aware of this news. So I will see you all in the classes. This is Narayani. I am signing off. Thank you.